Hello, and welcome to another video. So in today's video, this is gonna be very lighthearted, just a fun little video. Girl, in this world with all these videos where we're all being so serious, myself included, because the climate of the world is very serious, let's not get it twisted. I decided to come in with this funny little video because it made me chuckle in my bed. As you can see, it's nighttime, so I was in the bed and I was watching this video. And I said, this is fun. Let me come in here. Let me bring this to the girls, okay? So it's basically, the title of the video that I saw was Unserious Generational Curses. I like it, okay? So let's talk about them. I have a list. The first one is, well, first of all, let's say this. I do not think that I had like a bad childhood, okay? I've heard horror stories. Of course, it could have been better. I'm sure your kids would say the same thing. I'm sure my kids would say the same thing. Everybody could always have an opinion about what could have been better. The bottom line is, as an adult, we realize that it's harder to do better than we want to admit, okay? And some of the things that our mothers implemented, I know mine specifically, I'm kind of glad she did. It shaped me into the person that I am today. And I'm glad she didn't start off too loose-hunted, because where would we be at this point? Who knows? So without further ado, let's get into this video. The first one was, I'm getting rid of stained Tupperware. Do you or do you not keep stained Tupperware? I can say that I have a few in the cabinet that's a bit stained. I mean, it really doesn't bother me when I look at the Tupperware, as long as no juices or nothing, like it's not cracked, it's not broken, I'm gonna keep it, stained or not. What about you? Let me know down below in the comments. The next one is throwing away plastic bags. I do not like have to keep the bags, but if I need them, which 99.9% of the time I do, I will keep them. I definitely have bags under my sink right now. Like, how else do you put a trash bag in like the bathroom? Who's buying small trash bags? Not me. Do you? She mentioned like conditioning your hair. I do buy the little caps that you use to condition your hair, but honey, if it rained or something outside, if somebody needed to use one, or I needed to use one, I would definitely bring it outside. Like, the trash bags can be used for so many different things that don't include just carrying the groceries inside. Honestly, I like to carry the groceries inside in those big old IKEA bags. I don't even need them for that. So I just collect them just to collect them, I guess. I do use them as well, but I'm gonna keep up with my bags, okay? I'm gonna keep my bags. There's no way why would I buy a whole separate set of bags when I can just use the bags that I'm getting from buying all this other stuff? Let me know. This is another one, and this was a really big one. Girl, my kids can open more than one box of cereal. They can open however many boxes I buy, they can open them. Now, I wanna be closed properly, okay? But you can open them. Definitely when I was growing up, first of all, my mom didn't even buy cereal. And if she did buy cereal, it was the cereal that she really liked. The blueberry ones was her favorite one. She also liked Sugar Smacks. And of course, we could ask her for some of them, but that was her cereal and we knew it. She really didn't buy cereal like that, okay? And if she did buy it, she would buy the bags, the little, like, what you call them, General Mills, the cheapy ones, and you better not open more than one, okay? Especially at my grandma's house, baby, you better not open more than one. In and out the house. Don't go in and out the house. Baby, you better not be going in and out my house. First of all, yes, this was a thing when I was younger. You better not be going in and out the house. My grandma used to say her AC, and my mama just didn't like us going in and out the house. We lived on the military base, so girl, we really didn't come in and out the house like that anyway. When Kennedy be trying to play in and out of the house right here on the patio, opening my screen door, letting flies in and out, I absolutely, you in or you out. And I don't even say that. I just count. How many times you gonna come? Okay, come on, you coming in, and that's it. Don't be going in and out my house. It's definitely a thing. Do you make your kids clean their plates? My mom did not make me clean. I've never had that issue. Like when I was younger, cleaning your plate wasn't a thing. I was the type of kid that would eat seconds because when my mom cooked food, it was good. And she was a cooker. She was one of those people who she would cook different cuisines. She would make Asian food was our big one. She just cooked different things. Even you guys saw, I went to her house recently. She made me some African food. So cleaning your plate wasn't a thing, but we were allowed to get seconds. That was a thing. she gave us, like, we had very well-rounded meals growing up. So I don't make my kids clean their plates, and I also do not make my kids. Now, my mom wasn't doing this. She wasn't about to cook 10 meals for everybody in the house. You were gonna eat what was cooked, or you wasn't gonna eat at all. She did not play it. Like, you weren't going to, everybody's eating, let's say she made okra, everybody's eating okra, and you don't want to eat okra, so you want to make a bowl of cereal. Baby, you want to make a bowl of cereal. If a bowl of cereal was there, you wouldn't make it. I do let my kids do that. Like, if you don't want to eat what we cooked, you could have, like, the alternative meal, like a bowl of cereal, like some fruit. I do let them do that. I realize, I wouldn't like to do that when I was younger, but I do let them do that. The next thing is use the dishwasher. Baby, the dishwasher goes every single night in this house. Who's about to be washing dishes like that? My mom, we would have the dishwasher and we would get in trouble for using the dishwasher, okay? My mama did not play the dishwasher at all. We were the dishwashers, okay? And I know my mama not the only black mama who said we were the dishwashers, then we were the dishwasher, and you better not turn the dishwasher on. My grandma, however, when I went to my grandma's house, she did use her dishwasher, but my mom was the only child, so, she wasn't allowed to use the dishwasher when she was younger either, but my grandma did let us use the dishwasher, like, once we got older. She used her dishwasher, when it was working, but we use our dishwasher. And that's another thing, like, my son is 14, will be 15, he has to load the dishwasher, like, load his dish into the dishwasher, but all the house chores, he has his set of house chores, all of the house chores are not his, and that is something that's totally different than when I grew up. Baby, all of these clothes in this house, I know they're not yours, but you gotta wash them, it's your task, okay? Definitely not my style of parenting. I do understand it, definitely taught me responsibility. However, why I gotta wash your dishes? Or why I gotta wash these pots? You cooked it, can you stop cooking then? Can you stop cooking? No, okay, too much. When you call your kid's name, do you tell them what you want when you call their name, or you just expect them to come? Because when I call your name, you definitely better be like, huh, and walking. When I'm calling your name, you're actually walking. I'll tell you this, when I was in basic training and the drill sergeant called your name, it reminded me of like my childhood, because we had to say moving. So let's say they say Idleberg, which is my last name, you gotta say moving, drill sergeant. When I'm calling your name, it's moving, okay? I'm calling your name and you're moving. I'm not about to. I've seen some people be able to like let's say I'm calling your name and then the parent is actually going to the room where the child is to be like, I know you heard me calling you type of thing. No, I'm calling you coming. At least acknowledging that you hear me. We're just not going to ignore me altogether. That's just not going to happen. Because what are you doing? You playing the game? You're playing the game, you're on your iPad, and that is keeping you from not acknowledging me. Baby, we're going to have a problem, okay? So, a bit toxic. I mean, my mom was in the Army, so it was definitely a moving situation, okay? When you were called, you were coming. She wasn't even, her coming to you, don't even think about it. It wasn't even a thing. It never even crossed your mind, okay? It wasn't happening. Sleeping in. Oh my kids get to sleep in. Kennedy doesn't really sleep in that much. Kylan, which is my oldest, he definitely sleeps in. Like, he'll stay up later. Like, it's 9:41 right now, so sometimes he'll go to bed like 12, and then he'll sleep in a little later, and that doesn't bother me. As long as when you get up, you start doing what you know you're supposed to be doing, especially on the day you're supposed to be doing it, which is Saturdays. Baby, anytime we had off days from school, my mama wouldn't play. You weren't about to be sleeping in the bed. You were getting up. And then you kind of get up and do what? Do something. No. I don't do that to my kids. They don't have to get up. I actually would prefer that you get your rest. I know it's different. Definitely not the way, things were when I was younger, but it's okay. It's different. It's different. And I'm actually glad my mom did let me just stay in the bed, because how much I don't want to get up out of my bed now, I could imagine how much worse off I would be if I had always just been able to just lay in the bed. You know what I mean? No, I be moving. And when I get out of the bed, I do be moving. I do have to clean up, because my mama didn't play. Okay? Didn't play. She was, when I think about it now, very drill sergeant-esque. She would, dump our clothes out. We had to have stuff done. She wasn't about to play with us like that. Okay? Do you let your kids skip school? And when I say skip school, like, let's say your kid wakes up in the morning and they're like, oh, I really don't feel good today. I don't feel like, I had a bad day yesterday. Teachers really get on my nerves. Would you let your kids stay home? Y'all know me. I don't play. I do not play. My mom definitely let me stay home. Like if I wasn't feeling well or I just didn't want to go to school that day, she was the type of mom who would let me stay home. My grandma, when I lived with my grandma for a short period of time, she did not play that. I remember one time I went to school so sick that she actually had to come and get me because I was like throwing up all over the place. She did not. She was like a perfect attendance type of person. My mom, on the other hand, she most definitely let us miss school. And I am the type of mother as well that, I withdrew my son from school and started homeschooling him because mentally he just said he couldn't, it was just too much, okay? So I'm definitely one of those parents. I believe in listening to, what the kid really needs and not so much as like, and you better get out here and go to school. Like, I'm not that kind of mother. And my mom wasn't that mother either. This one. Now, I hear this a lot. Thermostat. Were you allowed to touch your thermostat? First of all, my kids are not allowed to touch my thermostat, but the house is cold. You see I have this thing on right now? Baby, it is 68 degrees in this house. I do not play. Most nights it's between 68 and 67 degrees. My husband always complains about how cold it is. So like when we're awake during the daytime, it's like 71 degrees. My mom always had it cold. If I go to my mama's house right now, her house is freezing. Like the last time I went there in the Texas heat, I had to have on a hoodie, baby. It was cold, okay? And I love that. I do not like no stale aired house. Don't invite me. I don't even want to come over. Don't invite me over if I can't wrap up in a blanket, okay? And I had a lot of people, like in my old house, I would have a lot more guests. And I'm like, Tansy, it's so cold, it's so cold. I issue out blankets because when I'm not about to, you heard that? The AC just turned on. I'm not about to touch my thermostat, okay? It's not about to be moist in here. It's about to be cold. Sit on the sofa. Are your kids allowed to sit on every sofa in your home? Now, we only have one sofa. I will say when I was growing up, we had to take a bath before we sat on the sofa. And like if you went outside and played, you weren't about to come inside and sit on the sofa. You weren't about to come from school and then come and sit on the sofa. That wasn't going to happen. That was not a thing, okay? Baby, my mom will have a fit. And we had a white sofa when I was growing up, so yeah, no. Me and my sofa. No, Kennedy and my sofa. My husband and I, he'll be old school when it comes to some things like this. Y'all seen videos where Kennedy is full on jumping on my sofa. Trampoline. Baby, my mother, I wouldn't be able to walk to this day had I jumped on my mama's sofa. My hips would still be out of place if I jumped on my mama's sofa. So that's definitely different. Kennedy gets to jump on my sofa as long as it's like a normal jump. Now the other day she put her hand on the back and she was like going to town jumping and I stopped her. Like, we ain't trying to break the springs, but what's a little jump? Now being dirty and sitting on my sofa, like we're not about to go play in the sand and then come home and then sit on the sofa. But if she goes out here to the patio and then comes to sit on the sofa, what the heck? My sofa's gray, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I just think it's just a sofa. If something happens to it, I can just get a new one. No? Do you allow your kids to sit on your sofa? Oh, this one. Might lose some followers with this one. Do you allow your kids to disagree with you? We know there's a lot of gentle parenting going on, and I have seen the effects of said gentle parenting, and it's not good at all. Obviously, I just said my mom was in the army. Like, disagree with who? Dis or what? This what? Disagree. What is a disagreement? Mom, I would never. Even to this day, I'm just, and I think it worked well for me because I'm not a very combative person. I wasn't a very combative child, so I ain't had to deal with none of that. Now my mama and my older sister, that's a different story. But do I allow my kids to do it? Do what? Oh, disagreement. That's what we were talking about. Disagree with who? No, unfortunately not. Now, I also have very and I think this question is on here a little later. We have very healthy conversations. We have healthy dialogue. But if I tell you to do something, moving mom, doing it on it, I'm not gonna play with you, okay? No, I'm not gonna do that. we're not about to ask all these questions. And Kennedy's at the age like, she's that 4 or 5 age where you'll be like, do something, and she'll be like, okay. She's not quite getting it. She's not quite getting the don't play with me, but she kind of getting it. So we're still working on her with that. But a disagreement, like, when you say disagreement, what do you mean? Because I'm just having a hard time even comprehending it. Like, do you mean telling me I'm wrong? I mean, I could be wrong. Like, you can. It sounds crazy. Let me give you this picture. So let's say for instance, a conversation with my son, and this just happened. Let's say I came in there and I said, why didn't you do X, Y, and Z? And then he doesn't say anything, and I proceed to go smooth off, okay? He didn't say anything. He didn't say like, no, I didn't do that, or I did do it. I'm going off. And then I come back like 5 minutes later, and I'm like, oh, you did do it. Why didn't you tell me that while I was yelling at you? And he's kind of like, I didn't think it was the right time. So I respect for him for that. And I think because I am the type of person who would come in and be like, I was totally wrong for that, he respects me, so there's a mutual respect. But just to, I say why don't you stop me, but if he would have stopped me in the middle of my conversation, I mean, who knows how it would have went. But disagree. I have a hard time with that one because I've been seeing how some of these kids be talking to their parents, and baby, it'll never. This one is totally personal. Not hoarding ketchup package. Let me tell you that I haven't bought ketchup. The last few times I went to the grocery store, I actually put it on my grocery list. I forgot to pick up ketchup. So the only ketchup we've been having with my little homemade French fries is the ketchup package that come from Kennedy's McDonald's that she never used, okay? So the package drawer and the little Taco Bell sauce, like I just bought some salsa. Baby, those things come in handy. So yes, we absolutely have a package drawer that I haven't started using the stuff in it till recently, but we have one and we're gonna continue to have one. I don't know about you. Watching TV during thunderstorms, I'm gonna watch TV until the power goes out. I know that was a thing. That was absolutely a thing growing up. My grandma especially looking stuck up. And coloring during rainstorms is really good. And if I'm really, really honest with you, I don't actually like physically watch TV anyway. But if I'm like, let's say I'm streaming like YouTube on my TV, I mean, I'm not going to turn off my electronics. Let's say that just because just because it's thundering outside, and I'm not going to force my kids to do it either. And another thing is, I remember especially my grandma used to be like, you can't take a bath. Or it was a thing, okay? You can't take a bath when it's raining. And I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and take a bath too, like when it's thundering outside and lightning. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not, but I will. I mean, if it's my time, if I was going to take one anyway, the lightning and the thunder isn't going to stop me from taking a bath, even though I know that is a thing. I mean, at least we thought it was a thing. I don't know what's fiction, what's not anymore. Do you turn off the light to the stove in the kitchen? Now, I didn't even know this was a thing, that people keep it on. We were never allowed to keep it on when I was growing up. I don't keep mine on now because the light bulb under there, it's actually hard to replace. I don't even know what the light bulb looks like under there. So I'm afraid if I really need it one morning that the light will be blown out and then I can't replace it. That's the only reason I don't turn it on, because I'm not one of those parents who every time you walk out of the light, turn it off, my light bill, close my refrigerator, my light, and yes. My grandma was really big on that. Everything was my light bill. Okay, my mom was not a light bill watcher. It was kind of like, baby, I'm not about to be sitting up in a hot house, and we're not going to not be able to move around the house because of the light bill. Whenever the light bills due, that's when I know how much it is. We'll fall asleep with lights on in the front sometimes, but we do have free lights at nighttime too, but who cares? This one I never heard of. Throw out expired seasonings. Anything that's expired, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out. My husband, y'all know, he's executive chef. We're going to go ahead and throw out anything that the date's not right on. Yeah. Seasoning, I never checked to see, do seasonings expire? You know what? Let's be honest. I don't keep seasonings long enough for them to expire. I think my mom has enough seasonings in her house to ask. She probably still got seasoning from when I was a kid. And I'm 30. So, I don't know if they expire, but I don't keep them long enough for them to expire. This is funny. Do you close the kitchen at night when you're done cleaning it? Absolutely. 7:30 is the last call time for the kitchen. Okay? If you come in the kitchen past 7:30, you're getting water in a cup that you already have. You better not come and bring that cup back in here. After the kitchen is closed, baby, it's closed. And I mentioned earlier, like, my son doesn't have to wash the dishes. So what you look like opening a closed kitchen? No, not you. Not you. You won't be opening it. Now, if I want to open it, I mean, that's on me. I'm really the only one that'll open it. But baby, the kitchen absolutely closed. This next one, it doesn't resonate with me. My family's from Louisiana, so we didn't really, we eat a different kind of food. Do not eat hot dogs on folded white bread. Now, we'll say, like, if you're making me a hamburger, you're gonna have to put it on something other than like bread, like regular sandwich meat bread. I'm not gonna eat it. I'll just eat something else. I'll actually eat the patty without the bread. Don't put it on white bread. But we did, like, my grandma, even now, she eats white bread with food. Like, you'll have something totally random, like, I don't know. Let's say you have like a breakfast, like you're eating pancakes and eggs and sausage. You have a piece of white bread on there. And I never really understood that. My mom didn't do that, but I definitely have seen that being done. I don't have to eat my food with a slice of white bread. It's not normal. It's actually pretty bad for you. No, and I don't serve my kid, like, every meal that I make doesn't have to have a slice of bread or a roll. What is that? What's that? And I'm definitely a hot dog with white bread. If I'm gonna make hot dogs, they're gonna be on, like, it's gonna be on a hot dog bun. So I don't know if that's a thing, like just putting food that actually goes in like a specific type of bread, just in a regular random white piece of bread. As a matter of fact, I won't even buy white bread. I only buy the wheat one, or like the multi-grain, or like the multi-seed one. It has to be some kind of like fancy, and I don't mean fancy, like, I just don't want plain white bread. It's weird. And maybe it's because I've always seen people like just slap a side of white bread with a random meal. No. This one was not on there, but this was one I thought of because I definitely heard this a lot. I do not roll down my windows to save gas. I live in Texas, okay? I'm actually not rolling down my window at all. I'm not. Not to do with anything, like, as far as circulating air, I'm not doing that. Now, Kennedy will ask to roll down the window because she likes to, like, stick her hand out and just, I don't know. Kids like to feel the little extra breeze. It's really not even a breeze. It's really just hot air just smacking you in your face, okay? But no, it doesn't save any gas. It doesn't. And maybe getting a more fuel-efficient car is a thing, because I have a Forte, and I've never looked at the gas. That's another thing. Are you one of those people who like look at your gas and say, I'm not going? I will say that in my adult life, I don't let gas mileage determine where I am and where I'm not going. Okay? It's definitely time to get a more fuel efficient car. If that's you talking about, I ain't going that way because it's too far and my gas. I don't do that. Do you reuse butter containers? This one wasn't on there either, but I don't think my mom owns any Tupperware. So there's that. I don't think we had any Tupperware growing up. Everything was, a reuse. She used a lot of mason jars. Everything was a butter container, a Crisco can. Like, no, I don't do that. First of all, I don't even buy the butter the tub one. I just buy the one with the paper. So I don't even have the tub, but to save the tub, I'm not doing that. Get rid of them tubs. But do you do it? Do you keep the tubs for, like, I don't know. Do you keep them? Let the pot soak. I do not let any pot soak. Like I said, my husband is the executive chef, so we don't do letting pot soak. He does not really play about the kitchen like being clean. I really hate cleaning the kitchen because I had to wash all the dishes growing up. Like, my mom was a cooker and she would really dirty every pot in the kitchen and we would have to clean it. So I'm really not, washing the dishes is literally my least favorite task. Washing dishes and doing the clothes. And those are the two tasks that he loves to do. But I had to do it for, like, everybody in the house. Me and my sister had to do it for everyone in the house. So I don't like doing it at all, the clothes. But the dishes, I do clean the dishes. It's not my favorite task, but letting pot soak, we'll throw it away before we sit and let it soak, honestly. Because if it needs to soak, it's probably gone. No, I don't let pot soak. And that's traumatizing to me at this point. No, I don't let pot soak. Do you? She mentioned this. She doesn't save obituaries. I don't really go to funerals like that. And I definitely wouldn't save anyone's obituary. This is one though that I do not save umbilical cords. Like when the baby's little stump falls off and you save it for years on at a time and you put it in a little photo album. I don't do that. I mean, do you? I don't. Do you have open conversations with your kids? Now in the video, she mentioned like, they were talking to us, like trying to educate us about like sex and things like that. And here you are, 6 centimeters dilator is what she said. And I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, I don't really remember any conversation. I mean, my mom talked to us, but really not. No, I'll be honest. I was a teenage mother and I thought that all you had to do was touch a body part to get pregnant. So there's that. No, didn't have those conversations. Do I have those conversations with my son? Absolutely. Age appropriate conversations? Absolutely. Will I have those conversations with Kennedy? Age appropriate? Absolutely, because they're necessary. Yeah, we have open conversations. Like I'll say wild stuff like, let's not. I'll say wild stuff, appropriate wild stuff, but definitely things that, like if my mom said something about like sex or something like that, now I'm like, ooh, and I'm grown with kids, I'm married, like, it's just like, oh, is that the way you talk? So no, we never had those conversations, but I do have those conversations with my kids. I thought this was funny, but I also do have McDonald's money. Kennedy, if I have money to get McDonald's, Kennedy gonna get McDonald's. Because 10 out of 10 times, let's be for real, she's not eating what's cooked. Like, so me, my husband, and my son will most often eat the like cooked meals that I make. Kennedy, on the other hand, most of the time she's not interested in trying it. Sometimes she'll try it just to appease me. If I ask her, I'll be like, please, and she'll try it. But for the most part, she'll eat something like chicken nuggets, pizza, little kid foods like that. So, girl, I got McDonald's money. And if I'm out, I'm going to get some McDonald's. Now, does everybody in the house eat McDonald's all the time? No, Kennedy eats McDonald's the most. And I even download the McDonald's rewards points so that even if I don't have McDonald's money, I got McDonald's points and I can make something happen, okay? I do got McDonald's money. And no, when I was growing up, I mean, I had McDonald's was almost like, first of all, we had to drive into town. When I got older, we had to drive into town to get to McDonald's. So, like I said, I lived on an Army base for most of my like adolescence. They did have a McDonald's in Germany. It was just like a treat. Whenever we had McDonald's, it was a treat. McDonald's and Taco Bell was the two treat places. But Taco Bell, from what I remember, especially in Germany, was really far from my house. So my mama didn't really play the McDonald's a lot. Our favorite thing to do, like as a family, was to go to Chinese food buffets, especially for birthdays. So that was a thing. No, I don't go to buffets now, honey, because the buffet all sits right in my stomach like a big buffet and I don't have time for it. But when I was younger, I had time for it. So, no, my mom didn't have McDonald's money. And yes, I do have McDonald's money. And when I say that, I don't mean like she didn't actually have the money. I mean like it was no, don't ask. Yes, I let the kids ask for McDonald's, and most of the time I get to them. This wasn't on there either, but I'm going to go ahead and say that my kids could paint and they could play with Play-Doh. Now, that whole slime thing, she can play with slime too. It just has to be on like the hard surface. But I was not allowed to play, especially at my grandma's house. I was not allowed to play with slime, Play-Doh, silly putty, all that kind of stuff. Like, child, when you saw it at school, it was like, ah. At home, no. Especially at my grandma's house, like I said, because she had like a lot of nice furniture. She didn't want all that stuff all over the place. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing, baby. Kennedy, absolutely. I mean, I have a bunch of it, and she could play with it at her leisure. All she had to do is ask and get the stuff and play with it. This one, it took a while for me to get this, but I do not comb hair every day. I am not about to be breaking my back every single day with the grease and the hot water and girl, the breaking off of the edges. And you see, I cut my hair off my head, okay? I do not comb Kenny's hair every day. Baby, we choose one hairstyle that can last at least a week, at the very least a week. 2 weeks is a golden spot, but I'm not combing hair every single day. It's not. No, it's not. I'll change the bows out for you if that's what you want to do. But I'm not gonna be combing hair. You can put a headband on, a new one every single day, but I'm not combing hair every day. And the last one is I still don't share my seafood. Oh wait, I gotta go back. My mom did. I combed my little sister's hair. My mom definitely made sure our hair was combed every single day. It was like you couldn't even, like, let's say somebody came knock on the door and it was like, let's go play outside. It was like, oh, you gotta wait because you gotta get your hair combed. So there's that. And the next thing, like I said, is I still don't share my seafood. Now, like I said, from Louisiana, seafood is my thing. It's our jam. My mama didn't really, I mean, sometimes we'll have like all little family seafood, like we'll sit on the floor and we have our little seafood fiasco. Most of the time she would have her little stuff, she would set it to the side, and I know exactly why, because seafood, it'd be a little expensive, whatever, especially if you get it like already done. And I'm not about to sit here and be cracking and peeling and all this kind of stuff. I want to enjoy it by myself. That hour when the kitchen is closed, I'll be in there eating my seafood if that's what I want to do. So, especially, honey, HEB be having seafood on the weekends. I will definitely get my seafood, and I don't really be sharing like that. Like, this is the day that y'all get McDonald's, y'all get Little Caesars, and I'm about to eat the seafood. My husband has a shellfish allergy, so I don't even have to worry about that. Okay. So, yes, I still don't share my seafood. My mama didn't really share her seafood either. Okay, so I hope this video was fun. Let me know down below, what do you do or do you not do that your parents did do or didn't do? Okay, as always, if you have a question, ask the question, and I'll see you in the next video.